Nalinam Brahmanalokamadbhutam Tatvani Purva Rudrani Karanani Parasparam Samavayaya Prayagascha Vibhinani Pritak Pritak Chichakcha Sajamanatha Bhagavan Adi Purusha Yajaya Maya Deva Yaganidram Akalpayat Yajayitva Tutanyava Pravibhisha Swayam Guham Guham Pravishte Tasmimstu Jivatma Pratibhudyate Sanitya Nitya Sambana Prakritischa Parayavasha Evam Sarvatma Sambandham Nabhyam Padma Mareradbhut Tatra Brahman Bhavad Bhuyash Chaturvedi Chaturmukha Sanjata Bhagavat Chakcha Tatkalam Kila Chadita Sishikshayam Mahim Chakre Purva Samakshara Samskrita Dadarsha Kevalam Dvantam Nanyat Kim Api Sarvata Vacha Puratastasmai Tasya Divyas Saraswati Kama Krishna Govinda He Gopa Janaityapi Balavaya Priyavanir Bantram Te Dasyami Priyam Tapastvam Tapayatana Tava Siddhir Bhavishyati Atatape Sasurichiram Prinam Vindamavyayam Shetadvipapatim Krishnam Golokastham Param Prakritya Guna Rupinya Paripasitam Sahasradala Sampane Kuti Kinjalka Nimite Bhumishchintamanistattra Karnikare Mahasane Samasinam Siddhanandam Jyotirupam Sanatanam Shabda Brahma Mayam Venum Vadyantam Muknam Bhaja Vilasini Ganabritam Svayam Ishayadbhutam Adha Venoninasya Traimurti Maigati Spuranti Pravisheshasu Mukhabhaji Swayambha Gayatrim Gayatastasmad Agiryatya Saraja Samsiksa Chajigunina Gutatam Tata Traya Pravattata Vidurvijnata Tattva Sagata Sarina Statrena Nena Keshavam Chinta Mani Prakara Satmasu Kalpa Vriksha Lakshavriteshu Surabhira Vipalayantam Lakshmi Sahasra Satasam Brahmasevyamanam Govindamadi Purusham Tamaham Bhajami Venum Kvanantam Ravindadalaksham Barhavatam Samasitam Buddhasundarangam Kandarpakotikamanaya Vishesha Shobham Govindamadi Purusham Tamaham Bhajami Alola Chandrikalasadvanamhalimam Shri Vratnangadam Pranay Kelikala Vilasam Shamam Tribangalalitam Niyata Prakasham Govindamadi Purusham Tamaham Bhajami Anganiyasya Sakalendriya Vrittimanti Pashyanti Panipanayanti Chiram Jaganti Ananda Chinmaya Sadujvala Vigrahasya Govindamadi Purusham Tamaham Bhajami Advaitamatchutamanadimanantarupam Adyam Purana Purusham Navayovanam Cha Vedesha Durlabha Bhakta Govindamadi Purusham Tamaham Bhajami Pantastu Koti Satavatsara Sampragamyo Vayoradhapi Manaso Muni Pungavanam Sapyasti Yat Prapatasinya Vichinchatatve Govindamadi Purusham Tamaham Bhajami Ekopyaso Jaratim Jagadanda Kotim Achaktirasti Jagadanda Chayedanta Anantarasta Paramana Chayantarastam Govindamadi Purusham Tamaham Bhajami Yadbhava Bhavito Diyo Manujastata Samprapya Rupamahamasanayana Bhusha Shuktayameva Nigama Pratitastavanti Govindamadi Purusham Tamaham Bhajami Ananda Chinmaya Rasad Prabhivavitapsistabhirya eva nijarupata kalabhi Galoka eva nivasatya kilatma bhuto Govindamadi Purusham Tamaham Bhajami Premanjana Charita Bhakti Vilochanena Santa Sadaiva Hridayeshu Vilokayanti Yam Shamasundara Machincha Gunaswarupam Govindamadi Purusham Tamaham Bhajami Ramadimurtishu kalanimena tishtan nanavataram bhuvaneshu kintu Krishna swaya samadat paramapumanya govindamadi purusham Bhajami yasya prabha prabhavato jagadanda koti koti shashesha vasudhari vibhuti binam tad brahmanish kalamanantam ashesha bhutam govindamadi purusham tamaham bhajami Maya hi asya jagadandhasdhani suti traigunya tadvishay veda vidayamanam Sattva alamba parasattvam vishuddha sattvam govindamadi purusham tamaham bhajami Ananda chinmaya rasatmate manasu ya praninam prapala sartam upetya lilaitena bhavanani jayat govindamadi purusham Golokanamni nijadamni tale chatasya divi maheshu haridhamasuteshu teshu te brabhavani chay vihitas chayena govindam adipurusham tamaham jami Sisti sthiti pralaya sadhana shaktireka schayasya bhuvanani mivati burga Ijhanurupamayasya chacheshtatesa govindamadi purusham tamaham bhajami Shriram yadha tadi vikarashesh yogat sanjayate nahi tata pritadasti hetu yasambhutam api tata samapanti karyat govindamadi purusham tamaham bhajami Viparchireva hidasantaranapupetya dipaite vibritahenu samana dharma yastadrigeva chatushnataya vibhati govindamadi purusham Yakanananava jale bhajati smayoga nidramananta jagadanta charamakupa adara shaktim avalambya param swamurchim govindamadi purusham Yasyaikani swasita kalamadhavalambya jivanti loma vilaja jaganandanatha Vishnur mahasaiha yasya kala vishesha govindamadi purusham tamaham bhajami Vasvanyatasma sakalesha nideshu teja swiyam kya prakayate vyatadakatra Brahmaya esha karta govindamadi purusham tamaham bhajami Yatpada palavaya gamini dhaya kumbha dvande pranama samaye chaganadiraja Vignan vyatamasya jagatrayasya govindamadi purusham tamaham bhajami Agnirmahi gaganamambu maruddishascha kalastatatma manasiti jagatrayani Yasmad bhavanti vibhavanti vishanti yamcha govindamadi purusham Yachakshuresha savita sakala grahanam raja samasta suramurti rashesha teja Yasya gaya brahmati samrita kala chakro govindamadi purusham tamaham bhajami Dharmottapa panyachaya sutayastapamsi brahmadikita pataya govinatma jiva Yadatamatra vibhava prakata prabhava govindamadi purusham tamaham bhajami Yastvindra gopamathavendra mahosvakarma bandhanurupa phalabhajanamatanoti Karmani nirdahati kintu cha bhakti bhajam govindamadi purusham tamaham bhajami Krota kama sahaja pranayadi biti vatsalya moha guru gaurava sevya bhavai Sanchinchatasya sadrishim tam apureti govindamadi purusham tamaham bhajami Shriya kanta kanta parama purusha kalpataravo druma bhumischintamani ganamai toyamamritam Katha ganam natyam gamanam apivam Shri Priya Sakhi Chidanam nam jyotir paramapita tasvadyam apicha Sayatra kshirabi sapati surabhibhyascha sumaham Nimeshabdakya vavrajati nahi yatrapi samaye Paje sadadvipam tamaham mihagalokamitiyam Vidantaste santakshiti jarakshakitpaye Athavacha Mahavishnur Bhagavantam Bhajapatim Brahma Mahatavijnane Brahma Sangreta Chenmati Panchastokim Imam Vidyam Vatsadatam Nibodhame Buddhi Jnana Bhakti Bhyam Atmanananda Chinmai Vedetanutama Bhaktir Bhagavat Prema Lakshana Pramanastatsana Tadabhyasa Nirantanam Bodhyadaratmanatmanam bhaktim apyuttamam labhet Yasya sriyaskaram nasti yasya nivrittim apya Yasahajati mameba bhaktim tameva sadayet Dharnavana parijatya Mamaikam bhaja vishvasam Yadrishi yadrishi shraddha siddhir bhavati tadrishi kurban nirantaran karma lokoyam anuvartate tanaiva karmana dhiya mam param bhakti michati aham ishvasya charasya bijam pradhanam prakriti pamscha maya hitam tejatidam vivasid videdhiti tam vihodanyanti Ma Krishna Satchitananda Vigraha Anadiro Yurgovinda Sarvakarna Karanam Iti Sri Brahma Samhita Samidayam. Hare Krishna. Jai Radha Madhava? Or? Yeah. Yeah. Or maybe harmonium. If someone plays Mridanga. Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Gopi Jana Vallabha Giri Varadhari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Gopi Jana Vallabha Jai Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Gopi Jana Vallabha Giri Varadhari Yashoda Nandana Braja Jana Ranjana Yashoda Nandana Yashoda Nandana Braja Jana Ranjana Yamuna Tiravanachari Yamuna Tiravanachari Yamuna Tiravanachari Jai Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Jai Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Gopi Jana Vallabha Giri Varadhari Gopi Jana Vallabha Giri Varadhari Yashoda Nandana Braja Jana Ranjana Yashoda Nandana Braja Jana Ranjana Yamuna Tiravanachari Yamuna Tiravanachari Jaya Radha Madan Mohan Radha Madan Mohan Radhe Jai Prabhupada Jai Prabhupada Jai Prabhupada Jai Prabhupada Prabhupada, 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 Jai Prabhupada. Nitai Gaura Haribo, 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 Nitai Gaura Haribo. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Nitai Gaur Premanande, Shri Hari Naam Sankirtan Yagi ki jai, Srila Prabhupada ki jai, Samaveta Bhakta Vrinda ki jai. All glories to the assembled devotees. All glories to Shri Guru and Shri Gauranga. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Hare Krishna. So it's a bit of a surprise because I didn't expect to be requested to speak. Do we have books, Bhagavatam?
Yes.
First canto?
Yes.
Okay, maybe.
Show it on the screen.
Okay, yeah. Then maybe we can read. But if I have a book, that's better. So we can read from the first canto of Srimad Bhagavatam since it's so spontaneous in here. It is chapter 17, which is quite relevant for us. It's called The Punishment and Reward of Kali. So we'll read text 32. 1:17:32. Thank you. And so we have until 10 o'clock?
Yes,
Wow, a lot of time. Is it normally like that?
Yes.
Every day?
Not every day, Maharaj. We have Bhagavatam class on Saturday morning.
Oh,
And Wednesday evening Bhagavad Gita class and Sunday. Tuesday.
wow, very steady. Twice a week. Okay, so Sanskrit. Tvad-vartamanam naradeva dehesh. Tvam-vartamanam naradeva deheshu. Anupravrittaya madharma puga. Anupravritto yamadharmapuga Lavandritam chauryam anaryamamha Lavamritam chauryam anaryamamha Deshta chamaya kalahascha dambha Deshta chamaya kalahascha dambha Amvartamanam naradeva dehesh Anupravritto yamadharmapuga Lobondritam chauryamanāryamamho Jeshta chamaya kalahascha dambha Haribol. Harishravu.
Tam vartamanam naradeva deheshu
Tattamanam naradeva dehesh
anupravrittayam adharmapugaha
Anupravritayam adharmapuga
lavonritam chauryam anaryam angha
Labanritam chauryam anaryamamho
Jeshta chamaya kalahascha dambaha
Jeshta chamaya kalahascha dambha
Tvam vartamanam naradeva deheshva
Tamvartamana naradeva dehesh
Anupravrito yam adharmapuga
Anupravritayam adharmapuga
Lobho nritam charyam anaryamamho
Abhanatam anaryamamho
Jeshtha chamaya kalahascha damba
Jeshta chamaya kalahascha dambha. Any ladies?
Tvam vartamana naradeva deheshu
Tamartamanam naradeva dehesh
Anupravartoyam adharmapuga
Anupravritayam adharmapuga
Lobo nirtam chauryam anaryam yamoha
Nabhanitam charamanaryam
Jeste cha maya kalasha cha tamba
Chatamba. Synonyms, please repeat. Tvam, you. Vartamanam, while present. Naradeva, a man god or a king. Deheshu, in the body. Anupravrita, taking place everywhere. Ayam, all this. Adharma, irreligious principles. Pugaha, in the masses. Lobha, greed. Andritam, falsity. Chauryam, robbery. Anaryam, incivility. Amha, treachery. Jeshta, misfortune. Cha, and. Maya, cheating. Kalaha, quarrel. Cha, and. Dambha, vanity. Translation purport by His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. If the personality of Kali, irreligion, is allowed to act as a man-god or an executive head, certainly irreligious principles like greed, falsehood, robbery, incivility, treachery, misfortune, cheating, quarrel, and vanity will abound. Purport. The principles of religion, namely austerity, cleanliness, mercy, and truthfulness, as we have already discussed, may be followed by the follower of any faith. There is no need to turn from Hindu to Mohammedan or to Christian or some other faith and thus become a renegade and not follow the principles of religion. The Bhagavatam religion urges following the principles of religion. The principles of religion are not the dogmas or regulative principles of a certain faith. Such regulative principles may be different in terms of the time and place concerned. One has to see whether the aims of religion have been achieved. Sticking to the dogmas and formulas without attaining the real principles is not good. A secular state may be impartial to any particular type of faith, but the state cannot be indifferent to the principles of religion as above mentioned. But in the age of Kali, the executive heads of state will be indifferent to such religious principles, and therefore under their patronage, the opponents of religious principles such as greed, falsehood, cheating and pilfery will naturally follow, and so there will be no meaning to propagate propaganda crying to stop corruption in the state. Tvam vartamanam narade vadehesh anupravrittayam adharma puga labhon rittam chauryamanarya madha jeshta chamaya kalahas chadambha. If the personality of Kali, irreligion, is allowed to act as a man-god or an executive head, certainly irreligious principles like greed, falsehood, robbery, incivility, treachery, misfortune, cheating, quarrel, and vanity will abound. These are the words of Maharaja Parikshit, who, as the story goes, was about to punish Kali, Raj, the personification of our age of quarrel and hypocrisy. And so here he explains why Kali cannot be allowed to take charge of the state, because all the bad qualities, religious principles will abound. And Srila Prabhupada gives very interesting purport to this verse. As we know, Srila Prabhupada came to America and started this movement at a very old age. He was already 70. Actually, Srila Bhakti Maharaj mentions that none of us can ever understand what Srila Prabhupada did unless we turn 70. I guess Japa Prabhu is the only one who can relate. What's your age now? Not yet 70. Almost there. So, most of the people don't even cross the threshold of their house at such an age. What to speak of going to the other side of the globe to start a worldwide movement. And so it was very risky, because he didn't exactly know how much longer he has to live. And therefore he came with the idea of giving the most important message. Why did he go to America? Yeah, but why not to Nepal or, Huh?
Maybe because at that time everybody were trying to copy America?
Yes, and still are. Even today, America is the global leader So he wanted to give the most important message in the most important country of the world, because his idea was that, as he explicitly stated many times, if America will take it up, then the whole world will take it up. And it did happen. And so he was not sure how much longer he will have to live, and that's why he wanted to give the essence of his message as soon as possible. And in fact, he invested his whole vision for Krishna conscious development into the first canto of Srimad Bhagavatam. And so therefore, the first canto is really important for us to study, because if we understand the first canto, we will understand Srila Prabhupada. If we will understand Srila Prabhupada, we will understand Krishna. And so we can understand what Krishna wants, and so how to serve him properly. And we can see that the first canto of Srimad Bhagavatam starts with the description of the meeting and sacrifice of the sages of Naimisharanya. And what was their purpose?
For the welfare of the people in the age of Kali.
Yes, to stop the advancement of the age of Kali. Because Krishna consciousness is deteriorated by the influence of the age of Kali. At the same time, it becomes very easy for people in Kali Yuga, not because they are qualified, but because there is a very special mercy for the Kali Yuga residents. And at the same time, Krishna consciousness becomes very attractive in this age, in the same way as diamond becomes very attractive if it is placed at the dark background. So on the dark background of all the problems of Kali Yuga, Krishna consciousness becomes very attractive. And so in here we can understand especially from the purport why Srila Prabhupada introduced his purposes, 7 purposes of ISKCON, in this specific order. And anyone remembers the first purpose of ISKCON? I think it's important for us, if we are somehow associated with ISKCON, to know the purposes, and especially the first one. It is to systematically propagate spiritual knowledge to society at large and educate all people in the techniques of spiritual life in order to check the imbalance of values in life and achieve real unity and peace in the world. So that's the first purpose of ISKCON. And so we can understand that real unity and peace in the world are only possible if we somehow neutralize the effects of Kali, right? Because what are the effects of Kali? Quarrels and hypocrisy, right? Srila Prabhupada always mentions. And therefore, in the age of quarrels, how can we speak of any unity, right? So we can understand that the purpose, it's very interesting. I want you to parallel three things. First purpose of ISKCON, then first canto of Srimad Bhagavatam, and the very first of the first world countries, which is, yes, the United States, right? Just think about it, how these three are connected. And this is the foundation for entire Krishna conscious development. And unless and until we have that foundation, real development of Krishna consciousness is not possible. And that's why we can see sometimes even in our own society, in the society for Krishna consciousness, there are so many quarrels. And how can we achieve real unity and peace in the world if we can't even achieve unity amongst ourselves, right? And so we can understand that unless this is done, like Srila Prabhupada often quoted the proverb, charity begins at home. Right? And so unless this is done, how can we help the world to achieve real unity and peace? And in this purport we've just read, like maybe 5 minutes ago, Srila Prabhupada explains what is the system, what is the practical application of the system he wanted to see in place. Anyone remembers? Any points from the purport?
Prabhupada was mentioning that you don't have to convert someone from Hinduism to or Mohammedan to Hinduism or Christianity to Hinduism. The principles of religion according to Srimad Bhagavatam is kept in every religion. So we have to just follow those things, those principles.
Very good. Yes. Anyone else wants to mention anything from the purport?
Prabhupada had also mentioned that if the dogmas and the practices remain without the results which they're meant towards, then there's no point in just following those dogmas as long as you're not achieving those principles and those results.
Very good. Yes. Following the dogmas or following some rituals. Srila Radhanath Maharaj mentions very smartly, there is a ritual, but there is spiritual, ritual aspect and spiritual aspect of our practices. And so, if it is just ritual, it's just like a shell without any content, right? Or very nice package, but it's empty inside, there is nothing there, right? So spiritual, because we are spirit souls, spiritual is the most important thing. And ritualistic performances without spiritual substance are pretty much useless. Okay? Anyone else? Okay, I guess these are the two most important points which were discussed in the purport. And then let's see in terms of practical applications, because the most important thing for us is know-how, right? Like in terms of business, the know-how is the most powerful business ever, right? Technologies. Being in a Silicon Valley, you know very well how much the technology is valued, right? And how much money people ready to spent for technology. And so, in the same way, again, coming back to the first purpose, Srila Prabhupada was mentioning techniques of spiritual life, also referring to spiritual technology, right? And spiritual technology means not just theoretical understanding, but actually know-how. And so, for us, this is the most important aspect. And so, let's see if anyone wants to share some points, some realizations. We're looking for realizations, not just book knowledge, which is easy. Even parent can learn shlokas. Or you can even teach parrot, like Prabhupada said. Even parrot can be taught how to chant Hare Krishna mantra. But if parrot is caught by the cat, he won't chant mantra because it's not really realized. And so, for us, realizations are the most important. And let's see if any of you have any realizations in regards to these two important points. Srila Prabhupada mentioned that. Yes, Prabhupada. By the way, I don't know your name.
My name is Kolodip Prandas.
Kolodip Pran, Prabhupada. Yeah, thank you.
So Maharaj, I can relate to especially the second point, the dogma part Prabhupada was mentioning, and Srila Prabhupada mentioned in the purport. There, when we come to US, the parents are very inclined, especially the Indian parents are very inclined to give the teachings of culture, what they have gone from their home, native land. But the kids, because they're going outside also, mixing with other people, they don't know the philosophy. They want to know the philosophy, so they are just given the education without any philosophy or the reason behind it. Or they are made to practice those things without any reason. So after one generation or two generations, those things doesn't exist. In my experience, I went to a school here in USA. I saw that, like those who are like for 2 generations there in US, in their home there is no picture of God even.
Wow.
Because they didn't know actually why we have to keep it. And it will actually diminish day by day, generation by generation.
That's a very valid point, yes. Unfortunately, I came across that number of times. Because I'm involved with interfaith network and training courses based on spiritual principles. I believe that in future devotees could do a lot in this regard. For example, if anyone's interested in the exponential growth of Krishna consciousness in Russia, which is very noticeable. If anyone goes to Mayapur, it's like the whole contingent of devotees is consisting of mostly Indians and Russians and little bit of everybody else on the side, right? It's like 600 Russians are living in Mayapur, residential devotees, what to speak of those devotees who are visiting. It's about 1,000 every day, every year for the festival, etc. So, and everyone is like wondering what's happening, why Russians are so interested in Krishna consciousness. And of course, Russian people are inclined, perhaps because of their, proximity to India. They're influenced by Dharma, and because Russia used to be Vedic also. But it's not only because of that, but because Russian devotees are conducting self-help courses based on principles of Krishna consciousness all over the country. And they are attracting a lot of people to the movement, and so it's a great potential for the movement worldwide, because those self-help personal development courses are so much on demand, and people are paying huge money to attend those courses, etc. And so I'm looking into that as well. And there is one school for self-help or personal development training, which is led by one Indian. And I took part in one of the course just to see how they conduct it, etc., to learn their approach. And then I watched his sharing about his spiritual path, his spiritual development. And he was mentioning one thing which had a value, but the application was completely terrible. He said it's really important to be free from dogmas in your life, and he gave his example. He said, because I'm born in a Hindu family, not in India, in Malaysia, and he said, I was taught by my parents that we are Hindus, and so we do not eat beef, right? But then when he was going to the school, and all his parents there eating, all these burgers, and he cannot take it. And so he felt somehow deprived. And so he came back to his mother, and he says, okay, you explained that as Hindus we do not take any beef, but why? Right? And why is really important question, because unless you understand why, it doesn't make any sense. And so mother said, well, why? Because we're Hindus, it is our culture. But he said, but why? It is our culture, right? And she said, well, I can't really explain to you properly. I think you have to figure it out on your own. That's a good answer. Huh? And so then he went and he was thinking, and then he came to his mother and he said, I think I understood why. Because we, in our, or our ancestors in India lived in rural areas, and so the cow was our domestic animal, was our pet animal, right? And no one eats pets, right? No one can eat pet animals. Like, no one kills dogs or cats living in the house to eat them. It would be horrible. So naturally, because our ancestors lived like that, they were not killing cows. Mother said, well, this sounds like a right thinking. And then he said, but now the circumstances changed, and now we don't have cows as our pets. We have dogs and cats as pet animals. The mother said, yeah, it is also true. And then he said, because cows are not our pets anymore, I guess we can eat them too. She said, yeah, it sounds true. And he said, yeah, I became free from dogma, and I went out and I had my first burger. And I was thinking, what an idiot. And he is posing himself as, like cutting edge, modern spiritual leader for I don't know how many people, hundreds of thousands, perhaps even millions of people on earth. And he's talking this rubbish about his realization. And, I wrote him a letter that it's not the it's not the real reason why we don't eat cows, because it's our pet or not pet, because in Vedic culture, cow is considered to be mother. And can you call, doesn't matter if cow is your pet animal or not, you're still taking cow products, you're still taking ice cream, you're still taking milk, you're still taking butter, you're still taking yogurt, etc. Since your childhood, you're taking that. So cow as a mother is feeding you since your childhood, helps you to grow. And so, do you kill your mother and eat your mother? That's the question. That cow is not just a pet animal, it's your mother. And how do you call someone who is killing his own mother and eats mother's flesh? And so, this is really important spiritual education for people, and especially those people who are already connected to culture and they're so ignorant that they don't understand why they do what they're doing. Yeah. So yes, it is important to help people to gain spiritual knowledge, understand the reasons behind everything. Like Mark Twain would say that two most important questions in your life, two most important days in your life are the days when you were born. And it is true, because human life is very rare, and so taking human birth is very special. And so yes, the day when we were born is really a special day in our lives. But the second, even more important day, he says, is the day when you understand why. And unfortunately, many people never find an answer to this question, why they were born. What's the meaning of their life? What's the purpose of their life? Like there is one Russian joke. One patient is asking his surgeon, his doctor, "Doctor, will I live long after this surgery?" And surgeon is saying, "Is there any purpose?" So it is joke, but it is true. Unless there is a purpose to your life, why do you want to live? But yeah, thank you. That was a very important point. Anyone else wants to share any ideas? How do we apply these principles Srila Prabhupada outlines in the purport? Microphone, yeah.
I like the point where Srila Prabhupada is mentioning you don't have to convert from Hinduism or Christianism to Muslims. Even if in our movement, if we could see so many people from different faith, if the principle is strong and genuine or attracted, and they are all the great teachers like Devamarada Maharaj, Radhanath Maharaj and Vaisheshika Prabhu, having from different faith.
Mm. Yes, this is one point, but the other one, which is really revolutionary, is that some of you might know that we have a lot of opposition. It's very interesting that the more we grow, the more our influence increases, the more opposition we have. And in Russia, there was a lot of opposition before from the state, but now the state is democratic But now the Russian Orthodox Church is really worried about our growth and wants to try and stop us by any means. And so they come up with different ideas how to do it. You know, I'm sure you heard about the Bhagavad Gita trial case, and they didn't want to stop there. They try to come up with different things. And of course, they blaspheme our movement a lot, at least some of the leaders. But at the same time, an opposite development is happening. I was introduced to one very strict Christian who is running his own successful business in elite design. So it's a very profitable business. And he explained, he was telling about his Christian practices and how he's helping, Christianity. But then he was also mentioning that he studied Srila Prabhupada's books and he's chanting 8 rounds of Mahamantra every day in parallel with his Christian practices. And we were very surprised. And I was asking him, how do you combine your Christian practices with Krishna conscious practices? And he said, yeah, it's not a problem at all, because I see that it's really the same thing. As we know, Jesus Christ, as many historians mention, started his mission after he studied Vedic scriptures in Jagannath Puri, as records goes. And so that's why the teachings of Lord Jesus Christ are so similar to Vaishnava teachings. And he said, actually in Christianity there is an allowance for additional spiritual practices of one's personal choice, even if they don't belong to their tradition. They can practice, but the only thing, they cannot propagate them. And so he said, not only me, but I know many, many influential priests in Christian Orthodox Church who are not only reading Prabhupada's books, studying Prabhupada's books, and they study Prabhupada's books for very good reason, because congregation is asking them questions they don't know the answers for, because they cannot find answers in their scriptures. But they do find all the answers in Prabhupada's books. So that's why they study Prabhupada's books. And they chant every day japa also. Because the kind of spiritual depth of spiritual experience they have from chanting japa is not compared, cannot be compared to the spiritual experiences they have through their practices. But they do remain Orthodox priests, and they chant Hare Krishna and read Prabhupada's books. So that's a very interesting phenomenon, which shows that point which is made in the prayers of Lord Brahma, as quoted by Ramananda Roy in conversation with Lord Chaitanya. Jnane prayasa dopassa namanta eva jivanti san mukaritam bhavati avarta stanestita shrutikata tanuvan manobir jita jito priya priyo apita strilokyam. And that the Supreme Lord cannot be conquered by academical knowledge. He cannot be impressed by academical knowledge because he is the source of all knowledge. And so but he is very impressed by the devotion. Jibanti san mukaritam bhavadiyavarta, by those devotees who glorify, who share his glories as their prime duty in life. And to dedicate themselves to devotional service, one does not require to change one's position at all. Stanestita. Stanestita means stay where you are, literally. But then Shrutigata. Shrutigata means dedicate yourself to hearing the Lord's glories. And Tanuvan Manobir, and dedicate your Tanu, your body, your Van, your Vak, your speech, and Mana, your mind, to the service of the Lord. And then Lord Brahma says, Ye prayasa jita jito apita is trilokyam, that by that prayasa, by that endeavor, one can conquer Jita, the Supreme Lord, who is known as Ajita, who is unconquerable, but he agrees to be conquered by the sincere effort of his devotee, who is dedicating himself to the service without externally changing his position. So which shows that Krishna consciousness is not at all external. And actually, from quoting this very verse in the conversation, Lord Chaitanya started appreciating Ramananda Rai's points, because before he was talking about external things, but with this verse he pointed at the internal development. And so Lord Chaitanya said, that's good, now you speak a little bit deeper on the subject. So yes, it is very interesting how even the followers of other faiths, they take up to Krishna conscious practices without changing their position. And I think this is even greater result than people originating from other traditions joining the movement. All right, thank you. Anybody else wanted to share any points in relation to this purport?
That point Srila Prabhupada in the first line of the purport mentioned that the principles of religion, namely austerity, cleanliness, mercy and truthfulness. So he did not say like it belonged to Vedic culture only. He also acknowledged that it belongs to Mohammedan and Christianity. And we see that actually. If you go deep down the philosophy, everybody is practicing to some extent the cleanliness, mercy, austerity. But definitely the extent is different, but there is something which is deeper than our day-to-day meeting, eating, as well sleeping, eating, mating and defending thing. Yeah. So this is actually very also practical, the way Srila Prabhupada has expressed. We can relate it to.
Mm-hmm. Very good. Yes, that's why Srila Prabhupada was mentioning the point many times that we don't want to convert people from one religion to the other. We want people to practice what they belong to properly. And if they practice it properly, they will come to Krishna. And I've seen that in my life, how it is happening. Like one time I was distributing books in London. I lived there for a while, and it was Oxford Street. And Oxford Street is a very intense place. You know, it's like tons of people and they run around doing shopping. And to to stop them requires a lot of effort, like mental effort, to kind of attract people, distract people from their attachment to material sense gratification and attract their attention to Krishna's books, to Prabhupada's books. That requires a lot of strenuous effort. So it's very hard. But if you manage to break into that, then it's very rewarding, because there are plenty of people and they are in this shopping mode, and so it's quite easy to distribute books. And so somehow I took the austerity and I got into that stream, and it was going on very nicely. A lot of books were going out, but I had to do it on a really, really high speed. I had literally, few splits of the second to catch their attention, to, smile, establish eye contact, smile, strike the conversation, give them book. I had literally like 2 or 3 seconds for the whole operation, and if I would not be fast enough, they would be gone. But somehow I got into it, and books were going out. And I got so excited that I started combining, it's like the rule of the thumb for book distributors. First you look at person's face, then you smile at them, and then you first you look at their face, establish eye contact, then you smile, then you say something to stop them, and then give them book in their hand and offer the book and ask for donation. But I started like I established eye contact. I was just looking for the eyes, and immediately I was like smiling and saying something. And I didn't give myself enough time to actually analyze if I'm stopping the right person or not. It was really risky, like reckless driving or something. And then I paid for it, because I've stopped someone whom I should not be stopping, because the man, judging from his facial features, was obviously mentally disturbed. And I regretted, but it was too late. And not only he was mentally disturbed, but he was a fanatical Christian, which was an interesting combination. And so he started preaching to me in a very aggressive way, saying that, you sold your soul to devil, you're, distributing these books which come from Satan, and so you have to accept Jesus in your life and all these things. I said, no problems, I will accept Jesus. We do love Jesus, so we'll see you later. But he said, no, I don't believe you. If you're really sincere, you have to chuck these books into the trash can. Then I will believe you really accepted Jesus. I was trying to tell him something that, like, these books cost money, I cannot do that, so. But he would not let me go. And I was trying to ignore him, pretend that he's not there, hoping he will go away. He wouldn't. I would stop someone, he would interfere and, disrupt my book distribution. I was trying to go away from him, he would follow me. I was like really regretful, but I was like praying, Krishna, please help me to get rid of him somehow or other. And I was dressed like that, and he was following me and talking something from behind. And I was like looking around, trying to figure out what to do. And then I see 2 window cleaners who saw us, and it was such an entertaining scene, apparently, that they dropped their window cleaning, and they were like watching us. And I was like I looked at one of them and I said, you seem to be really interested. Are you also Christian? And he got so offended, he said, no way. I'm a devout Muslim. I was thinking, okay, this is going even more interesting now. And I said, so, are you agree with what he says? He said, of course not. He's talking rubbish. I said, okay, but can you talk to him? And he said, okay, I will. And they actually went ahead and he started talking to the guy. I was shocked. Because he was not saying something sentimental, he was talking on the basis of statistics. And when someone brings up facts and figures, that's very impressive. And he started his speech in a very powerful way. He said, wake up, brother. You're in complete delusion because your Christianity is fully outdated and Islam is the fastest growing religion on earth. Every second, there are 2 new Muslims appearing on the face of earth. And in whatever number of years, Islam will be the only dominant religion on the planet. So before it's too late, chuck out your Christianity and take up to Islam. And this guy, he was trying to say something, but that man was so powerful. He just, flooded him with information. He was like, ooh, he was lost. But his other friend, the other window cleaner, he was looking at him in disbelief. Probably he never saw his colleague in this, role as a religious preacher. And he was looking at him, and he was looking at me. He said, I cannot understand, why do they fight in the name of God? I don't know who is God. I don't know, how he looks like, where he lives, what he is doing, but I know for sure he is one. The Supreme Lord is one, for sure. And he doesn't want us to fight. He wants us to live in peace. So why do they fight in the name of God? I said, you're absolutely right. Yeah, God is one, and we meant to live in peace. And actually, this is what our books say. He said, really? I said, yeah. And also our books explain who is God and where he lives and how he looks like and everything else. And therefore people taking these books and reading them. He said, wow, that's interesting. I said, yeah, please take one book and give a donation. And he said, sure. So these guys are fighting. That one took book. And so I'm saying, thank you, Krishna. And I went my way to continue book distribution. And I kind of forgot about this episode. But few days later, I'm standing on the same spot, almost. And then I see that Muslim coming my way. And I'm like, whoa. I had so much hard time with that Christian. If this Muslim will, take up on me, I will remember that Christian, very fondly. And I'm thinking, Krishna, please help me. And no matter what we will talk about, we can talk about politics, business, weather, anything but religion. That subject I cannot even touch, because I'll be in a deep trouble. And I'm looking at him, expecting the worst. And then I've decided, okay, let me strike the conversation first. And so I looked at him and I smiled. And he smiled back. I thought, whoa, this is a good sign. And he came to me and I said, oh, I'm really happy to see you, because you really helped me that day, because I was trying to sell my books and this guy was giving me so much trouble, and so you kind of distracted him. I didn't have chance to thank you that day, but it's good that I meet you now, so thank you very much. And he said, no problem. I really like you, Hare Krishnas. I was like, whoa, that's interesting. He is Muslim, he knows who we are, and he likes us. And then I asked him, how do you know about us? He said, well, I really like your restaurant. And if anyone been to London, our temple is just off the Oxford Street at the Soho, and it has very popular restaurant attached to it. And he said, I'm going to your restaurant on a regular basis. I really like your food. I said, but you are Muslim, and this restaurant is purely vegetarian. He said, yes, because I am vegetarian. I'm like, wow, how come Muslims are not known for being vegetarians of all things? And I said, how come that you're vegetarian? What happened to you? And he said, well, I was practicing my, faith since my childhood very strictly. Like 5 times namaz every single day, and chanting the names of Allah on my beads very, rigidly, and following my fasting periods. And then I've realized that, because during the fasting they don't take any meat, but after the fast they take. And he said, during the fasting, when I was abstaining from meat, it was so easy for me to follow my spiritual practices. But after I started taking meat, it was like my consciousness was really going down. And so I saw, these differences, and I decided if I really want to advance spiritually, I have to give up meat. So this is what I did. And I saw with my own eyes the progression, that first he realized he has to be vegetarian for his spiritual advancement. And then Krishna brought him to our restaurant. He started taking prasadam. Then Krishna gave him, it's not because of me, but because it was Prabhupada's mission I was involved in. And so he actually facilitated me in distributing Prabhupada's books. So Krishna gave him an opportunity to serve Srila Prabhupada in this way. And I was like, wow, it's amazing, I see how this man is advancing in his spiritual life towards Krishna. And I said, it's amazing that I was thinking, I should do something for you as a sign of appreciation for your help. So I have these books. If you would be interested to read this book, I would give it to you as a gift. He said, yes, I would read this book, but I know you are monks, you live by donations, so I don't want to take it off for free. I'll give you a donation. So he takes the book and gives a generous donation and walks off. So yes. And I had a few other episodes, but this was probably the most impressive. How people advance spiritually, regardless of their tradition. Anybody else wants to share? So far we only have 2 devotees active. Anyone else wanted to say something? Yes, please.
In the translation, it's saying something around a man god or an executive head. If the personality of Kali or a religion is allowed to act as a man god or an executive head, is there, and I'm not familiar with this chapter, so is there some context? Are they referring to some personality here acting as the ruler of some place or...
Yes. Well, the chapter is Punishment and Reward of Kali, and the content of this chapter is that Maharaj Parikshit, who was the ruler of the whole world, is touring his kingdom, and then he's seeing a man, black man dressed as a king, beating cow and the bull, which are the personification of Dharma, and breaking their legs. And so he broke 3 out of the 4 legs of the bull, and so these legs personifying the 4 pillars of Dharma, right, which are Satyadaya, Tapashuchi, right, which are mentioned in the purport. And so it was obvious hypocrisy, right, that king or executive head has to protect Dharma. That's his first duty, because king is meant to be a representative of the Supreme Lord. But this man, dressed as a king, was destroying Dharma, right? And so, therefore, it says that Maharaj Parikshit says that if such a man is allowed to act as a man god means Naradeva. That's the traditional title of a king, because kings are representing the Supreme Lord, and so they are acting on behalf of the Supreme Lord, and so they are treated as manifestations of God by common people. And so that's why King Parikshit says that this man cannot be allowed to act in this way, because he, instead of protecting Dharma, he is destroying Dharma, and so he has to be stopped. All right? We still have another hour. So if anyone else wants to share or ask, it's all right. You can also ask any questions. Or if you don't have any questions, I'm still waiting for more answers from you in relation to the subject of how can we achieve that vision Srila Prabhupada had for helping people belonging to different traditions to become Krishna conscious, and how can we help the officials, the government heads, to develop Krishna consciousness as well, because this is where the serious development of Krishna consciousness will take place from this point onwards. Otherwise, it will remain a marginal religious group, right? Sometimes we think, oh, we're so big, right? 700, maybe 50 temples around the globe. So we think, wow, this is big. Well, because, again, because I'm involved with interfaith, and so I know a little bit about other groups. And there is one group which is kind of neo-Buddhist group, which started in Japan. No, actually it started in America, also in New York. And the man who started it did it after Srila Prabhupada, quite recently. And they have 300 temples in Tokyo, in the capital of Japan. alone, 6,000 temples in Japan, and 10,000 temples globally. And we're not talking about small buildings. We're talking about like proper marble, very, very beautiful temples. And it happened in less than 40 years. So, on the scale of the global influence, even though we may think we're big, but, comparing to even other religious groups, even like new religious groups who have started, because our excuse is always, we're just starting, we're only 50 years, right? I mean, some people are less than 40 years, and they're like more than 10 times exceeding us in the, ratio of growth. What about that? And so, somehow we need to figure out how, actually, before we figure that out, we need to figure out what exactly Srila Prabhupada envisioned. How did he envision Krishna conscious development? Because he did not expect us to become one of the marginal religious groups, one out of the list of perhaps thousands, if not tens of thousands, of religious groups. I don't know about you, but I don't believe that Srila Prabhupada sacrificed his life, literally. This is what he did. Because it's very well known that intense travels, they shorten one's life, and especially taking into consideration other stressful situations he had to take on, and he actually admitted that, speaking with his very confidential disciple, who was acting as his nurse for the last year of his life, Abhiram Brahma. In the conversation he mentioned that when he was already completely incapacitated and it was obvious that he is going to leave very soon, he actually told him that I've cut at least 10 years off my lifespan because I've taken so much stress, like traveling 14 times around the globe in less than 12 years, spending sleepless nights translating Srimad Bhagavatam. And, it's not very hard to figure out why Srila Prabhupada lost his sleep, because he had to take so much headaches in managing the whole movement. And so literally Srila Prabhupada sacrificed his life for establishing Krishna consciousness, and personally I do not believe he killed himself for adding one more marginal religious group to the long list of already existing ones. And anyone who read carefully Srila Prabhupada's books and studied his legacy would know that no, Srila Prabhupada's plans were much grander than that, right? And so now it's up to us, his followers, to figure out how do we actualize Srila Prabhupada's vision and fulfill his desire for this movement to become the leading spiritual tradition behind the development of the golden age, of Lord Chaitanya on this earth. Right? So if anyone wants to suggest, how do we do that? How do we break away from that, marginal religious pattern and shift into the global development of Krishna consciousness? Because you are at the right place, at the right time. And so if you understand that, and if you do something about it, the whole planet might get affected. Because whatever leader does, everybody follows, everybody else follows, and America is the global leader still on the planet, and will be the global leader for quite a few years for sure, despite of anything. It's very interesting that, I'm not sure, but oftentimes when I think America, I remember the word Amara, and Amara means deathless, right? Immortal. So this America, this seems to be immortal country, right? No matter what happens to it, it still survives as the global leader. So, anyone has any thoughts in this regard? I mean, this community is known for being quite vibrant in terms of introducing Krishna consciousness in many novel ways. Vaisheshika Prabhu is very nicely encouraging all of you, so it's a right thing for you to think, to focus on innovations in terms of introducing Krishna consciousness.
Hare Krishna Maharaj. I was just wondering, in terms of interfaith, what was your experience? And also, you have mentioned the Hindu group in short period, within 14 years, they had established in a huge way. What made them to spread? As well, in terms of universities, we do have religious studies, but I think we don't have specifically for Krishna conscious, except isolated universities. Oftentimes it's Hinduism, it's seen as Hinduism. So how we are really, those are the areas which would really impact huge amount, in a huge mass of people.
Yes, very good. I was talking to Swavas Prabhu, whom I'm sure all of you know, the temple president for New Dwaraka. And he was mentioning that according to the poll, 1/3 of American population is claiming themselves to be spiritual but not religious. And it's huge. I mean, how many people live in the United States? It's 300 million. Over 300 million. So, if we would connect, if we would figure out the way to connect to those people who claim to be spiritual but not religious, you would have over 100 million Americans on your side as your allies, as your faithful allies. And so, yes, I was thinking of, yes, interfaith is very interesting because it actually started after the Second World War. After the Second World War seemed to be quite significant event in terms of waking people up for the need to cooperate, to work together, to create unity. And then people realized also that we need to unite on religious front as well. And so actually all these interfaith initiatives as such mostly started after the Second World War. I was talking with one Catholic priest who was historically one of the first ones to start interfaith. Now he's pretty old, he's past 70, but he's still very actively involved. He said back then it was like very, very few interfaith groups around the world. Now there are so many of them, you would lose count of them. And I think the largest grassroots interfaith movement, which is United Religious Initiatives, which one of our devotees is representing as co-director in United Nations. And so we have quite a few devotees in that field. And one of them, one of those people who is working in that field for many, many years, he came to a conclusion that, because for anyone involved in that field, it becomes so obvious that the differences between the traditions are just external. Which name of God to chant, which dress to wear, which ritual to do, but the essence is the same. Of course, the strictness of the spiritual practices are different. Like, we are very strict. Like, we do not take any meat, fish, or eggs altogether. Like, forget about it. But then the giving up meat is also very important for any religious tradition. Like in Islam, they have their fasting and they have their limitations in which meat to eat or not to eat, and when to eat and when not to eat. Christianity is the same thing. And in Judaism, they have such a strict rules for eating meat that many Jews, they become vegetarians just to avoid headache. And I think this is the purpose. And in Buddhism as well, they're supposed to be vegetarians, but of course Kali Yuga is advancing, and so even they kind of breaking that rule. But this is the original idea, non-violence. And so we can see the same principles to greater or lesser degree in every single tradition, and when people are involved in that field, they realize that, and they realize the value of other traditions as well. And they understand they have to connect themselves to God, and all the traditions have valuable tools or techniques how to do that. And so one of them, he is like lifelong monk in the Anglican Church, and he's also very renowned scholar. And he started with his Christian Protestant practices, but now he's so open. Not only he studied, but he's initiated into 4 traditions. Of course, starting with his own Christian tradition, then he is initiated into Hindu tradition. He became a follower of Ramana Maharishi, and then he studied and got initiated into American native spirituality, shamanistic tradition, and lately he took initiation into Sikh tradition as well. And we're talking to him, like devotees who are involved in that. We're saying, okay, you already initiated into 4 traditions. And Sikh tradition is very, very close to us, right? Because they also chant kirtan. They even call it kirtan, and they have prasadam. And actually, Guru Nanak, if anyone knows the history, he got started after meeting Lord Chaitanya in Jagannath Puri, after they chanted kirtan together, and he got influenced by Lord Chaitanya's universal approach to spiritual development. And his idea was to help bridge the gap between Muslims and Hindus, right? That's why you can see in Sikh tradition, it's very obviously Hindu influenced, but then they have elements of Islamic tradition, like they don't have any deity, they only worship book, etc., etc. Many things are adopted from Islam because they wanted to bridge the gap. Okay, of course, it didn't happen. Hindus never minded, but Muslims were so aggressive they were killing them, and so they had to protect themselves with swords. So that's why they have these, etc. And so they wanted to bring peace between 2 religions. They failed, and then they ended up becoming separate religion themselves. That's kind of failed history of interfaith dialogue. Failed case of interfaith dialogue, we can say. But it's very, very close to Vaishnava tradition in many ways, except the kind of impersonal aspect of it because, of the Islamic influence, or we can say Abrahamic influence, because Abrahamic conception is quite impersonal. That's why they deny deities, etc., etc. They called it idol worship. And so he is familiar with all these traditions, and then he came to a conclusion that the future spiritual practices of the world, they do not belong to any of the faiths, but they belong to people who understand the essence of each faith, of all the faiths, and they connect to God, and so he calls it interspirituality. And his idea of interspirituality became so popular, and because he's a renowned man, he's traveling globally, and he's encouraging many, many spiritual groups to join his network. So he's creating his own interspiritual network, he calls it, which is a step higher than interfaith, because we're not talking about learning, but actually practicing very seriously. And so he has hundreds of groups and some of the groups are very big. He has hundreds of groups in his network, and we're close friends. And I'm asking him, so you're building all this massive network of spiritual groups, so what are your plans? What are you planning to do with all this network? What's your idea? And he told me an amazing thing. He said, we're completely open to anything. Whatever, if you have any idea how to engage this network, we'll come on board. And I was thinking, this is amazing. Hundreds of groups, probably with talking about hundreds of thousands of people, if not millions of people. And these people are completely open-minded. And so if we have service for them, they would come as volunteers. Is it not amazing? And I was thinking that this is the greatest gift of Lord Chaitanya for us, that there are so many people who become very, very open-minded, and we can always count on them we just have to have something which is inspiring for them, something which is for the benefit of the world rather than for the benefit of a specific religious group, which are us, right? And quite a few leaders in ISKCON, they talk about it, that, it's whatever is happening, it's always, whatever we do, it's always about us. How can we benefit? So it's kind of spiritual consumerism or something like that. So and people see it through. Okay, what these guys are doing, again, something about themselves and for themselves. Okay, not really inspiring, right? But if we change the direction, and we don't have to reinvent anything, as I was mentioning, like first purpose of ISKCON is very, very clear. Prabhupada established that it's not for us or about us, it's about what we are giving for the people. How do we change people's lives? And so if we have a project, how do we change people's lives for better, make people's lives more spiritual, more, at least, influenced by goodness? Then yes, millions of people are on a standby, waiting for us to offer them something exciting to take part in. So I think this is the real value of networking with these people, that they can become involved in any service, provided that it's inspiring for them. All right, we still have time. Yes.
I have a question in this regard, Maharaj, that when we are implementing new things in our movement, what should be the mood? Because sometimes we introduce something which is not recommended by the acharyas, and we tag it as time, place, and circumstance, but may not be that is successful, or may not be that what our acharyas wanted us to do. So how to not get entangled with those things, and also keep the chastity of the movement, and also reach out to the people the way every acharyas wanted us to do.
Yes. Srila Prabhupada was calling it catching a big fish without getting wet. Right? So that requires an expertise, and so Srila Prabhupada is actually explaining that very nicely in the 5th chapter of the 1st canto, which is Narada's instruction on Srimad Bhagavatam. And he explains that it's a business of expert devotees. I'll try to find that verse. Yes. It is text 16 of the 5th chapter of the 1st canto. Maybe we could find that text. Yeah, 1.5.16. Vichakshano sarhati veditum vibhor ananta parasya nibrita sukham pravartamanasya gunai anatmanas tato bhavan darshayat chestitam vibho. The Supreme Lord is unlimited. Only a very expert personality retired from the activities of material happiness deserves to understand the knowledge of spiritual values. Therefore, those who are not so well situated due to material attachment should be shown the ways of transcendental realization by your goodness, through description of the transcendental activities of the Supreme Lord. So this is really important verse for us, because, I mean, do you expect many people to follow 4 regulative principles and chant 16 rounds every single day? These kind of people are very rare. That's why Prabhupada says that, and Shastra says that devotees are very rare, but everybody needs to advance spiritually, right? Not everyone is so renounced, but everybody needs to advance spiritually. How do we help people to advance spiritually, and how do we connect them to Krishna? Right? And so Srila Prabhupada explains in this regard that this is the end of the purport. The expert devotees also can discover novel ways and means to convert the non-devotees in terms of particular time and circumstance. Devotional service is dynamic activity, and the expert devotees can find out competent means to inject it into the dull brain of the materialistic population. Seems to be a bit harsh, but it's true. Such transcendental activities of the devotees for the service of the Lord can bring a new order of life to the foolish society of materialistic men. Lord Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and his subsequent followers exhibited expert dexterity in this connection. By following the same method, one can bring the materialistic man of this age and of quarrel into order for peaceful life and transcendental realization. So it's pretty clear, right? That it is meant that innovations are the right to introduce innovations belongs to expert devotees. And so once we become expert, we can catch the big fish without getting wet. And the others should learn from these devotees, starting from Srila Prabhupada, starting from Lord Chaitanya. Study very carefully their legacy and understand the essence of Krishna consciousness. Understand what does it mean? Catch the big fish without getting wet. It's Bengali analogy. It doesn't seem to be very vegetarian, but anyway. Srila Prabhupada used that. Huh?
In Bengali it says, Dhari mach nachui jal.
You're Bangla?
Bengali.
I see, okay. Yes. So what does it mean? You want to elaborate?
I will catch the fish, but I won't touch the water.
Okay.
Yeah,
but what this analogy in regards to preaching?
Very expertise to execute a particular act. Very expert.
Yes.
You don't want to get influenced by the result by the action, but you will get the result.
Yes. So yeah, it is very important. And yes, we can see how Lord Chaitanya did that, starting with when he was a young boy. He was Nimai Pandit, and he introduced grammar, which was using only names of Krishna to teach children grammar, right? Harinam Vyatikaran. So he was making all the students to chant the holy names under the pretext of teaching them grammar, right? So, and this is an example, and we can see how starting from Lord Chaitanya, and of course he was so expert. It's very interesting, for example, why Lord Chaitanya took sannyas in Mayavad Sampradaya, right? Because he knew his idea was to influence very large, influence people on a very high scale, and unfortunately Vaishnavas, sannyasis were not valued. Vaishnava sannyas was not really valued so much, didn't hold that influence as Mayavad. And so he decided to enter into that field to influence Mayavadis with Krishna consciousness. And he did, as we know, Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya, Prakashananda Saraswati, just to name a few, but the most important people, etc. And then we can see Srila Prabhupada example. Well, of course, Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati, innovation was his hallmark, right? He was nearly killed for his innovations. Like, why are you giving Brahman initiations to those people who were not born in Brahman family? But Srila Prabhupada went even further. He started giving sannyas to those who were born outside of Varnashram altogether. Right? And even his own godbrothers, they were criticizing him. Oh, what are you doing? There is one episode when Srila Prabhupada came back to India with a group of his disciples, and in Vrindavan, so many of his godbrothers came and they started shouting at him. That was all in Bengali language. The disciples couldn't understand much, but they understood that, by the gestures, they understood that they are the cause of this trouble, because they were pointing at, clearly their message was that, why have you brought all these mlechas and yavanas to the holy place? Look at them, how come that, how can you make these people into, or call these people devotees or whatever? And the Prabhupada didn't even try to stop them. He was just listening until they ran out of steam. And when they stopped shouting, he told in English, to help his disciples to understand what was going on, he said, I am only trying to fulfill the instruction of my spiritual master. And it's interesting, he said, of my spiritual master, even though they were all disciples of the same guru, right? And they couldn't say anything because it was true, right? So they had to turn around and leave. Yeah, and we can see so many innovations Srila Prabhupada introduced, and we can see so many innovations his expert followers are introducing, and so expertise is very important, and the most important thing is blessings, because the expert devotee under whose guidance we're getting trained is called spiritual master. And so if we have blessing from our spiritual master, we can understand we're doing the right thing, following the instructions of our spiritual master. He can guide us because he is expert. We may lose track, or we may make mistakes, but if we are always under his guidance, he will tell us what's right and what's wrong. Very simple. Anyone else wants to say anything? Except those who gave a vow of silence.
Hare Krishna Maharaj, can you share some with us about your Mayapur School for Leaders?
Well, yeah, the school is actually meant for training devotees to become effective outreach leaders, and it's not just in traditional ways, but it is to start innovative projects which would help people to develop Krishna consciousness and get established into these 4 pillars of Dharma. And it's actually limited to professional devotees who have leadership potential. So it is not for everybody. We are only taking this time 30 international students who fit into that category, and so everyone, and it's actually meant for the fulfillment or facilitating of the first purpose of ISKCON, which is so important for us. And yeah, I have additional information if anyone's interested. I can give a web page address. You can see a little bit more in details what is this all about. But we want as many devotees as possible who have leadership potential to start successful projects. And the idea is pretty simple, that we're always struggling for money, right? I mean, always like these fundraising campaigns for this and that, fundraising for the roof, fundraising for the floor, fundraising for the wallpaper, God knows what we are fundraising for every time, and it's like always shortage of money. And so how can we do something big without having financial freedom to do it? But at the same time, there are billions of dollars, billions, not millions, but billions of dollars available if we do something significant for the public, if we really make a difference in people's lives. And yes, US government is giving billions of dollars every single year. And there are plenty of private foundations as well who are giving a lot of money away. Like more money than we can imagine. And basically, the only thing you have to do is to figure out what do you want to do for people. How do you want to change people's lives for better? And have a clear plan and apply and get as much as you want. So that's simple idea. That all the money is already there. You just need to figure out how do you want to spend it. So it's like reversing the process, right? Instead of thinking how do we make money, we have to think how do we spend money. Because there are plenty of people in this country who became millionaires in their own right because they figured out how to spend money in the right way. And actually this is one of the, actually two Brahminical activities. And Prabhupada's very clear about it. He said, ISKCON is meant to train people to become Brahmanas, right? Because Vaishnavas are automatically Brahmanas. And so out of 6 activities, there are 2 which are traditional for Brahmanas. Well, the 6 are Yajna, Patna Patana, Dana Pratigraha, right? Which means you conduct yagya, then you teach other people how to conduct yagya. For us it would include Sankirtan yagya as well, right? You distribute books yourself, you teach other people how to distribute books. You chant kirtan yourself, you teach other people how to chant kirtan. Patna Patana, you study scriptures and then you teach others in scriptures. But then 2 last ones are Dana, Pratigraha. Dana means you collect donations, and Pratigraha means you spend donations for the sake of spiritual advancement of other people. And so because we're so limited financially. What can we do? Right? At the same time, there is huge, inexhaustible, literally, pool of funds available for us if we actually focus on Brahminical activity, and you can make it into your career. You can make a lot of money with it. You can actually become a millionaire if you want to, if you spend this money in the right way. And so all these opportunities are available, but not many devotees are aware of them, and therefore we want to encourage devotees in this way, that yes, you start your own project, funding is available. If you do it professionally, you can make it into your own career and change the lives of unlimited people for better. The only thing you have to do is to figure out how to include spiritual technology into your project, right? In such a smart way that no one can point fingers and say, oh, you're trying to spread your religion. And I think the most successful project in this regard so far up to date is Krishna Avanti schools in Britain, which are government schools funded by the British government fully, tens of millions of British pounds. They have 4 functioning schools, and everything they eat is prasadam. They have deities in every school, which are the center of the school, and they teach Krishna conscious philosophy, and they also teach all the children how to sing bhajans and play musical instruments and everything else, and it goes very successfully because devotees network with other Hindu groups. So networking is really the key. And therefore the government gave them the funding, because they represent Hinduism. They do not just represent a small religious group, which is us, unfortunately, as it sounds. But if you represent a larger network, yes, sure. And then it's actually very interesting that they were still suspicious that it is for ISKCON's benefit. And they had to do a lot of work to prove to the government that no, it's for the whole Hindu community, because we have the same principles. And but then now they are thinking about making the next step, which is to create spiritual schools, means the schools which would be open to children from any faith groups, and they would teach the common spiritual principles uniting all faiths. Because chanting of the holy name, for example, is common for all faiths. And spiritual discipline is common for all faiths, and many other things are very common. And they would teach unity in diversity. And so then actually no one would be able to point fingers. And I mean, we don't even have to worry about competition, because what Krishna consciousness has to offer, no one has at all. So it's unique. All right. Thank you for the question. Any comments? Any suggestions? Any complaints? All right, we still have 10 minutes before Guru Puja starts. Okay, let's see how many of you are interested to do something to help Krishna consciousness to be accepted on a wide scale in this society. Okay, good. Now the only question is to ask yourself, what should that be? How do I do it? What's the way forward? Because this is what Srila Prabhupada wanted. And if we can understand, if Srila Prabhupada expressed that desire so clearly, and Krishna is obviously behind him, and so it will happen no matter what. The only difference it will make, either we will contribute to it or it will happen without us. Somebody else will do that. But then somebody else will get all the benefit. So it's just a question of whether I want to be involved in this service or not. Yes.
Regarding the preaching, what's your opinion on using, if money is not a problem, what is your opinion on hiring some workers to do the to do some of the jobs? For example, is it okay just to hire some workers and let them distribute books or set up stalls outside and they do the work? We can do a lot of things like that using paid workers. What's your opinion about it?
Well, my opinion follows Prabhupada's words. He said, we can hire anyone except two categories of people: those who preach or introduce Krishna consciousness, and those who worship the deities. Like, you cannot hire people for puja, for cooking, for serving the deities, and for teaching and training people in Krishna consciousness. Everybody else, Srila Prabhupada said, even managers you can hire. You can hire outside people to manage, no problem. And actually, devotees already doing that. It haven't reached to the point of, in India they do. In India there is a lot of hired staff in the temples, of course on lower scale, but in different places devotees, again, following this innovative spirit, they involve, I would say that the first question should be, how do we engage people? Those who are already interested in being engaged. But yeah, some people might be hired also. Like one of my godbrothers, he had Bhakti Govinda Maharaj coming to Ukraine, to the city he lived in, and he was thinking, how do I create a big impact in terms of introducing people to Krishna consciousness, and especially high-level people, high-ranking people. And his motivation, as many times the case, was personal, because his father was a head of a research institution, and he was a bit skeptical of Krishna conscious practices of his son. He didn't mind, but he was not taking it seriously. And so he was thinking, how do I influence my father, right? And then he was thinking, how then do I influence the people who are on my father's level with Krishna consciousness? Because they're not going to come to the temple kirtan and sit cross-legs and chant Hare Krishna. Why would they do that? Or why would they come to the class or whatever other religious functions we have? They have nothing to do with it. And they consider it, unfortunately as it is, below the level of their dignity, right? Just sit on the floor and chant something. So he came up with the idea. He hired a symphonic orchestra of the city he lived in, and he told them, can you play for our Swami who comes to do kirtan? And they said, fine, yeah, we can. Because musicians, they are happy to play. And so they rehearsed a couple of times. And actually these video clips are available on the net. You can still see them. Govinda Maharaj, with his little team, maybe 3 or 4 devotees, they are doing their kirtan. And they have the entire symphonic orchestra of the city playing with them. And because it was, I'm not sure how it was advertised, but all the prominent people of the city, they came to that concert and they were chanting Hare Krishna. And he said from this day onwards, his father, he keeps the picture of Govinda Swami on his table in the office, and he has very nice memories of that event. So yes, naturally we can and we should involve other people one way or the other who could help us to make an impact in the society. But then it was very nice, but then again it was one-off engagement. But the follow-up, this is the most important thing, right? Okay, these people are introduced to Krishna consciousness. Then what? How do we engage them properly, right? So engagement, whether paid or unpaid, would be the key word for success. And actually, if you look at it, from very beginning when Srila Prabhupada came to the West, his concern was not whether people will or not officially sign up for the membership or whatever. His concern was engagement, right? It's very clearly described that some people were very enthusiastic in terms of following the spiritual practices, 4 regulative principles, 16 rounds, etc., etc. He would accept them, but other people were not very interested in following so much, but they were interested in helping in Srila Prabhupada's mission. And Srila Prabhupada would treat both as equally important, right? Because for him, the most important thing was how to engage people in the activities connected to Krishna consciousness. And so, if we will think about it, how do we engage, especially people who have influence, who can make the difference in the society? Because talking, you can come and you can talk to them, but what's next, If it is nothing of significance, they would forget about it after a few minutes or hours, right? But if they are engaged, then naturally their Krishna consciousness will be developing. Thank you. All right, so it's 10 o'clock now. Thank you all very much. Hare Krishna, Grantaraj Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai, Srila Prabhupada ki jai, Nitai Gaur Premanande.
Bhakti Rasayana Sagar Swami
समवेत भक्त वृंद की जय। Jaya Jaya Prabhupada, 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 Jaya Prabhupada. Shri Guru Charana Padma Kebala Bhakti Sadma. Shri Guru Charana Padma Kebala Bhakti Sadma. Bandamoi Sabadana Mate he 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 Bandamoi Bandamoi Sabadana Mate he 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 Bandamoi Dahar prasade he bhai he bhavatoriya jai dahara. Dahar prasade he bhai he bhavatoriya jai. Krishna prapti hoy jah hoite he. Krishna prapti hoy jah hoite he. Krishna prapti hoy jah. Guru Mukha Padma Vakya Chitet Kodiya Aikya. Guru Mukha Padma Vakya Chitte Kodiya Aikya. Guru Mukha Ana Kodiya Manne Harana Kodiya Manne Hana kari ho manne harana kari ho manne Shri Guru Charane Rati Hey se Uttamangati Shri Guru Charane Rati Hey se Uttamangati Jai prasade pure sarva ashaha Jai prasade Jai prasade pure sarva ashaha Jai prasade Chakudan diloje danne danne Prabhu se Chakudan diloje danne danne Prabhu se Oh Divya Gyari de Prakashita Divya Gyari de Prakashita Prema Bhakti ja hoite Abhidavi na sajaite Prema Bhakti ja hoite Abhidavi na sajaite Vedigai jahara chadita Vedigai jahara chadita Shri Guru Karuna Sindhu Adamaja Narabandhu Shri Guru Karuna Sindhu Adamaja Narabandhu Lokanath Lokiraji Banna Lokanath Lokiraji Banna Ha ha Prabhu Koradoya De amore padachaya Ha ha Prabhu Koradoya De amore padachaya Biyas kusugre bubana Biyas kusugre bubana Jaya Prabhupada, 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 Jaya Prabhupada. Prabhupada, 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 Jaya Jaya Prabhupada. Jaya Jaya Prabhupada, 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 Jaya Jaya Prabhupada. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Namo Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prestaya Bhutale Srimati Bhakti Vedanta Swami Niti Namine Namaham Namaste Saraswati Devi Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Sunyavadi Paschatya Desha Tarine Namaste Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Jaya Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Shri Krishna Chaitanya Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Krishna. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Krishna, Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Bola. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Hare. Hare Bol. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Haribol. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama. Bola. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama. Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama, Hare. Bola. Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama. Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, 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 Hare Hare. Hare Rama, 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 Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, 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 Hare Hare. Hare Rama, 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 Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, 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 Hare Hare. Hare Rama, 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 Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, 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 Hare Hare. Hare Rama, 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 Hare Hare. Jaya Radha Madan Mohan, Radha Madan Mohan, Radhe. Jaya Radha Madan Mohan. Jaya Radha Madan Mohan, Radha Madan Mohan, Radhe Radhe. Jaya Prabhupada, 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 Jaya Prabhupada. Prabhupada, 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 Jai Prabhupada. Nitai Gaur Premanande. Jai Mr. Pad Paramhamsa Privrajacharya Statra Sata Shishmati Danga Swami Abhai Charan Ravinda. Bhakti Vedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Jai Nitya Lila Pramishtam Shishmati Danga Swami Srila Bhakti Stan Saraswati Thakur Maharaj Prabhupada ki jai. Ananta Kacha Vaishnava Vrinda ki jai. Namacharya Srila Haridas Thakur ki jai. प्रेम से कहो श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर शिव सजी गौर भक्त वृंद की जय। श्री श्री राधा कृष्ण गोप गोपीनाथ श्याम कुंद राधा कुंद गिरि गोवर्धन की जय। शिवराज भूमि वृंदावन धाम की जय। श्री मयपुर नवदीप धाम की जय। श्री पुरुषोत्तम क्षेत्र जगन्नाथपुरी धाम की जय। गंग देवी मुनमाय की जय। श्री माते तुलसी महारानी भक्ति देवी की जय। Shri Hari Nam Sankirtan Yagi ki jai. His Divine Grace Bhakti Vedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Shri Shri Panchatattva ki jai. Shri Gauranga Mahaprabhu ki jai. Shri Shri Radha Madhava ki jai. Shri Shri Maharada Madhava Mohan ki jai. Shri Shri Prahlad Nrsingadev ki jai. Samaveta Bhakta Vrinda ki jai. All glories to the assembled devotees. All glories to the assembled devotees. All glories to the assembled devotees. All glories to Shri Guru and Shri Gauranga.